So Klay, as you guys pare the roster down to 53 as a coordinator, do you have strong opinions on each personnel group, or do you leave it more to the position coaches to kind of dictate?
It's a collaboration for sure. I mean, nothing's decided in a vacuum. I mean, I have my opinions about everything. I think generally we agree on most things because we watch the same tape every day and we kind of have the same conversations, but we're always collaborating and coming to consensus about where we think the roster shakes out. So,
McCaffrey and Kittle part of the offensive warm-ups at least, and McCaffrey and some drills. Does that kind of change the mindset, I guess, almost clicking into regular season mode now, just having those two guys back?
I mean, it definitely just gives us energy. You know, it just changes things. You got two Hall of Fame caliber players out there who are back out there and getting their work in, and they practice at a high standard and they lift everybody up. So it definitely changes your energy a little bit. Energy's not been bad by any means, but those guys being out there just inevitably lifts everyone up. So it's good to see them back out there.
You and Kyle create sort of separate game plans or sets of plays depending on if George is available for week one?
Yeah, well, I mean, depending on George's availability, we definitely have things in for him that probably other guys don't do. But, you know, it's kind of what we went through last year with Jake Tonjes too, is we saw his development, we saw his growth as a player. He came a long way to where he was able to do so much of what George does in the pass game for us. And so, you know, we'll make those decisions as we get closer, as we start preparing for the game. But George is unique. George is one of a kind. He's only so many players who can do what he can do. So we'll start paring that down as we get closer and kind of see what his availability will be.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the last couple of days, the first time at least I've noticed that Kyle's had the walkie-talkie again. Does it feel like it's pretty close back to kind of normal procedure out there right now?
Yeah, very much so. He's been doing the scripted periods almost every day for the past couple of weeks, I think, and then the move the ball I've been doing. So just that's kind of how it normally is during training camp. So very much normal out there. He's back behind the huddle, calling plays to the quarterback and in the action. So
where are you with left guard evaluation?
It's no major updates for you guys. I mean, it's still a competition. You know, those guys all played a lot. Obviously, losing Rob, you know, that stinks, and he'll be out a little bit. But as far as the guys who are in there, Connor, Carver, you know, Austin got in there a little bit. Those guys are going to keep rotating through, and you know, someone's going to come out of that thing starting in week one. I think I said this last week, but we're going to need them all, and so it's an ongoing competition. You know, like where those guys are at, I think they got to keep getting better, keep pushing each other. But there's nothing's decided right now. We got a lot of important practices here coming up. Today was a big one. The next one will be big for those guys, and just they got to keep stacking days and keep making each other better.
Arbor's been there for about a week, a little bit more than a week with the ones. Have you seen improvement? Have you seen him get more comfortable as he's been in there?
Definitely. From the time he missed, for sure. You know, he missed I think a week with his injury, and then coming back, he's definitely improved in over a week, and then he improved in the game, and we want to see more improvement. I think that's what we expected, is to see a continued growth, but he's just got to keep getting better every day. But I like where he's at. I like the way he's working. He's developing. He's a young player, and we just got to keep pushing him.
Two parts. How long do you expect Austin Pleasants to be out? And the second part, what is it about him that made you guys think, hey, let's give him a shot at left guard too?
Yeah, as far as timeline goes, I don't know. I don't know the exact time as far as when he'll be out. Hoping sooner than later. But I mean, as far as Austin, you know, he's a smart guy. He's a really good athlete, and we just saw a guy who moves well in space. He knows our offense. He's got the versatility and the brain to move positions, and so Chris put him in there at guard a few times, and he looked good. You know, and he looked natural in there. So we thought, okay, let's see how he looks. Let's keep him in the rotation. So it's just a product of just, you know, him being the good athlete he is, and his knowledge of the offense, and just being a good football player. So we, you know, put him inside and see how he looks. So it's unfortunate he got hurt, but we think we'll get him back at some point.
See from Kaelon Black in his first game.
I loved how he ran. You know, he really brought kind of a spark to our offense. He's a guy who you don't have to block it perfect every time. He's going to muscle his way through for 5-6 yards, but he's got good speed to burst and get some explosive runs. I thought he did a really good job. His first time in NFL action, the moment wasn't big for him. He didn't blink. He was ready to go. And so love his development, love where he's at, but he needs to keep getting better too and stacking days. And I think we're going to have a good player in our hands down the road, but he's got to keep pushing himself every day.
What do you see with
Strong said he was impressed with his blitz pickups as well.
Oh yeah, that's just as impressive. He was on it from the second snap of the game. They brought a blitz and he was on it, and he was stout. Not surprising though. He's a sharp young man. He's in his playbook. He's very coachable. Bobby T's got him on the right page, and he just got to keep going, keep getting better.
What do you see with Jordan James, and what do you think he's going to be able to bring to your offense?
Yeah, really happy to see Jordan back out there. We've loved Jordan. We've been excited about him. It's just been unfortunate not having him on the field as much, but he looks good. He's in really good shape. And I think seeing other young players get out there and have success, makes him hungry. So I got to get out there. I got to show what I can do. And seeing Kaelon get some of those reps, he stepped up. He's had 2 really good practices, in my opinion. And so we're excited about his future. I'm going to say the same thing I said about Kaelon, though. He's got to keep getting better. He's got to keep going out there and practicing, stay healthy. And this will be a big, important game for him. He's going to get a lot of reps. I want to see how he looks in the game and just keep going. So
Back to Black, is the pass game getting him in the mix? Is that the last part of the puzzle with him? Looks like you guys, last couple of practices, were trying to get him involved in the pass game.
Yeah, I think that's we're definitely trying to get him involved. Definitely trying to get him some of those reps that, whether it's choice routes, option routes, things out of the backfield that we ask our backs to do consistently. That's a big part of his development for sure, and getting the comfort and the timing with the quarterback. I thought he's done a nice job here in these couple practices in that area. But again, it's the same thing. It's just more reps, more growth. But, he takes that jump and continues to develop in the pass game, and we're excited about him. So.
How much better do you feel about the running back room as a whole today than you did maybe, a week ago when those guys hadn't come back yet?
Yeah, I don't want to slight the guys who were out there at all. The guys who were out there were battling, competing, and did a heck of a job. But, we drafted these guys for a reason, these young backs who we're real excited about. It's good to have them out there healthy. I was really pleased with the guys who were out there, too, and who were working and getting the most out of those guys. And but, these are the guys we wanted here from the draft that we think have a lot of ability. And so just got to keep stacking days with those guys.
What do you make of
Is back running back a spot where you don't maybe decide that by the start of the season and rotate Jordan and Kaelon and see them get reps in season?
For sure, you want to rotate those guys in. I think we'll go into the game saying, hey, this guy's the next guy up after Christian. We'll have a rotation going, but we'd like to get those guys carries, And to me, if you can get multiple backs touches in a game, that's a sign that you're running the ball well. It's a sign that you're staying on the field. That's a sign that you're getting fresh legs in there. And so if that's the outcome, that means we're moving the ball, we're running the ball we want to. So no, we don't have to decide anything. I think we'll go in with a certain order. But those guys are going to keep competing, and they're going to keep competing all the way up until the first week. So,
what do you think of the reps for Kramer and Nugent on Thursday night?
Yeah, those guys did a good job. They played a lot of football. Jake started the game, got his drive, and then I think Nugent and Kramer have been doing awesome this camp. Those 2 guys have really, Nugent especially, he's come a long way. He's really developed a lot. He played good football. And then Kramer got in there, and you saw similar outcomes. Guys who did a good job in pass protection, run off the ball, played really hard, played really physical. I like where both of those guys are at. And another big week for them against the Raiders. See how they play.
What do you make of Brock's willingness to engage in some loud chatter with maybe some members?
Did you guys hear that? I think it's cool. It's competitive. It's respect with his teammates that they can do that and shake hands after, and they can line up and compete and try to get the best out of each other. Talk a little smack, but at the end of the day, a lot of respect between those 2 guys, and that's why they're really good players. They go out there, compete every day, and they have an edge. But they're great teammates at the end of the day.